on the hike. Is everyone in the shot? Nice sunny day on this 29th of October.
There you go.
But yeah, I remember coming on this hike long time ago. I had a coworker who recommended going up Mount Brunswick, and he described this hike that we're doing right now. He's like, oh, the beginning is this terrible slog. You're on this wide road and it's just like you see nothing. And it's like the words he used, you know, totally painted this picture that actually impressioned how I had it. I remember going on this hike after he described it. I'm like, yeah, it does kind of. I'm like, it is kind of a slog. It's 1,000,000% a slog. But like hiking it today, I'm like, no man, this is like a really beautiful bit of forest we're walking through.
Yeah. Hear the squirrels clicking.
And so Mount Brunswick, he was trying to get me to climb up it, and he's like, oh, Mount Brunswick, holy jeez, it's got this knife edge arête. You know, you're walking this like thin arête that's got just sudden drop-offs on both sides of you. And he thought maybe it was making me frightened. Yeah. Maybe he was trying to
dissuade you?
Talk to me about an amazingly tough hike that maybe I didn't have the spirit for. But I ended up doing it, and it's actually a very beautiful hike. The top of it does have a very prominent arête.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
That is, actually I would say it's more intense to look at it from far away, because like when you're approaching this arête, you see where you're going to be walking from the side, and it's like a sheer wall, and you're like, I'm supposed to walk along this ridge, like what? And you don't know exactly how wide it is. And on the other side it also is just like a sudden drop. Like you could for sure take a fall there and just never, you know.
Like the backside of Baker on the railroad.
Hello.
Trail. Like you go up this hill and you don't realize that at the top of the hill it just drops off into nothingness. And it's just like you walk all the way along it and it's like undercut. It's really amazing. But at the same time it's gorgeous because the slide area and the marina and everything lead all the way up to the back of the mountain. It's really pretty.
So the arête itself, it's the thing that's also really unique about it from my experience is just how much exposure you have. Like it's just you, very few shrubs, but the actual path when you're on it, I would say it's as wide as a regular sidewalk.
Right.
So if you're confident in being able to go left foot, right foot in a straight line and not be dizzy, not be overcome by the idea that if you jump off the sidewalk you're gonna die, if you're able to stay on that sidewalk you're fine. But yeah.
Have you ever been at Goat Ridge?
Yeah, well, there's tons of Goat Ridges, isn't there? Goat Ridge is almost like
the gross one. So you go past Stam Mountain and you go into Goat and then Goat Ridge, and it has something like that. There's like this dip where you walk along this very narrow section of trail that has like nothing on both sides.
That sounds very it's very awesome actually. No, I haven't been on that Goat Ridge. There's a Goat Ridge I've been on. I was doing this overnight hike on Sky Pilot. We camped on top of the glacier there. And coming down, one of our group suggested that we take this Goat Ridge down.
Oh.
And we're like, okay, yeah, sure. And that led to one of the most like intense days of hiking, where at different points throughout that day, I'm sure all of us had some doubt on whether we were going to make it out or not. Like, it was kind of a scary day. I don't know if I told you guys about that.
Pilot in behind Bluffs?
Sky Pilot is very close to the Chief. It's behind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can approach the trailhead. There's a lot of mountains over there, but there's a trailhead that starts in like a residential neighborhood in the Squamish area. But you can also actually access Sky Pilot nowadays by taking the gondola and hiking back.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about Sky Pilot in this book called Scrambled, and that name alone was enough for me to be like, I gotta do this one day.
Pique your attention?
Yeah, Sky Pilot. Like, and it was really, really cool. Probably one of the harder scrambles I've ever done in my life too. Like, there was one section where it was like, I want to say a 15-foot slab incline where there weren't too many obvious features to hold on to.
Yeah.
So for like 15 feet, you're just hoping that your hiking boots are gripping, you know?
Our Thinkers team, which is based out of Surrey, like everyone's more or less the same age. The point being, like, they have children.
Like, there should be
And as parents, I find the pattern I see with them is like everything has to be structured out. So
Yeah, I mean, structure, I think, allows you to, you know, ultimately prioritize and actually get more done. But I think, you know, yesterday I was out with my mom walking through Minnesota, and guess how many times I've gone walking through a forest with my mom?
that seems like a very unique type of scenario.
It was entirely unique.
Entirely unique, so 0.
Yes. And it was great, and there were so many great things that came out of it.
Oh, for sure.
Beyond the
It was just
conversations, yes, just the conversations that we had. I'm like, you know, connecting with her in ways I've never had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
You know,
both of you are not in your usual place. You're not at her house. You're not at a restaurant.
yeah, but bringing it back to organization, she told me something that I thought was kind of interesting, and I'm wondering how long she's been doing this, but she was telling me that before she goes to bed each night, she's planning what she's going to be doing the following day.
Well, that sounds like a manna.
And if there's like one thing I think would be amazing to incorporate, is that level of organization. Like, I think that I'm much more of a jazz musician, at least at this point in time, where, you know, I have broad strokes ideas of what's going to happen tomorrow, but there's so many variables that are constantly coming from the periphery that I feel like in the past I've been frustrated when I don't necessarily do A, B, or C, or maybe A, B, or C gets cut short because of those unplannable variables.
Okay.
So I think that I still want to try to incorporate some bit of forethought on my day,
Right.
but I think that the approach that I'm going to take in doing that is allow for those variables to still exist and not bug me.
Right. So maybe like a halfway point.
Yeah,
Sounds of it.
yeah. Do you think we're getting too far away from?
Yeah.
So, like, it's kind of interesting what they're trying to do, but I also think that it's like a hydra of a problem. You try to solve it by choosing a method, and it creates another problem.
That's right. I mean, it's an equal outcomes approach, which is never a good thing in my mind. They do something similar with they have done it with SOCAN standards. I think it's called SOCAN. And they regulate what airs on radio and stuff like that in Canada.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Where
Yeah.
they dictate that, whatever it is, like at one of every 5 songs
CanCon.
has to be Canadian content.
Yeah.
But
Hello.
they do. Which, I get the idea behind propping up your own dude.
But I think there's always going to be like loopholes, and it's like, you know, you think about any sort of regulations. If there are people who are trying to do something, they will figure out a way.
The cream rises to the top. That's usually how it goes.
Cream. The cream
He finds a way.
isn't the only thing that rises to the top. So does the scum. I like the scum. You think about the roles that we play, and some of that is made up. A lot of that is made up by our environment, right?
Yeah.
We like form occupations. We break up into little groups, and we define our sense of self off of those. But when you strip all of that away, what is really there? It's a lot of it is biases that we just don't see. It's hard to really get a sense of what part of us is really objective. If you like ask someone who they are, I think that that's one of the hardest questions to answer with any level of truth.
Oh, for sure.
And like an awareness.
Yeah. I mean, we're not robots, right? People have their own slant on things, whether they realize it or not. What are these fluffy things on?
Oh, this is just, I think, a bush that got trimmed down.
We've walked along probably like a dozen of those points, and they look like a porcupine or a hedgehog or something.
Isn't this part of the trail just amazing?
Nice. Very, very tranquil.
Yeah.
Oh, it's strange.
A couple weeks back, there were so many mushrooms in full fruiting bloom.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of them are already past right now, but
Do you
some red conkers over here.
Do you enjoy mushrooms? Not of the psychedelic variety, but I just mean like in cooking.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying them more and more the older I get. Like, we went out to the Acorn for Thanksgiving and had
That's a place on Maine, right?
chanterelles. That's right. Chanterelles and lobster mushroom. I mean, there are so many amazingly beautiful mushrooms. I foraged some mushrooms myself this year. Had some bear claw. Or no, I think it's called bear's head. Bear's head or bear's claw?
Yeah, they both sound bad.
They're amazingly good for you and delicious. And I also had some wild cauliflower mushrooms. They're so good. Holly just like sauteed them in a pan.
Nice.
So good. So good.
Those were all foraged.
The last two, yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
The lobster and the chanterelles, I think they grow wild. We didn't forage them, we just had them at a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
You know, like people like go in the woods, like actually last time I was here, I could see some people with buckets, you know, deep in the forest.
Picking?
Like, you see these trees around here?
What I tell Amanda is like we come home just bagged some days, and what I say to her is that I'm gonna keep doing it until I literally can't anymore, because I know there'll come a day in the future for everybody where it's like you want to do it but you literally can't anymore.
Yeah.
So until then I'm just gonna keep on keeping on.
Yeah, dog. I don't know if I consciously registered this, but I think Holly was telling me the other day that you've been jogging regularly.
Me?
Yeah. Do you jog?
Not anymore. I like maybe 10 years ago I had a bit of a period of time where I took it a little more seriously.
So you like?
Not.
Okay.
I did it to like train for sun run, and then
Okay.
And then I found, I think shortly after that, I discovered softball. I'm like, oh, this is like my fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't this look like a fucking like dead like possum thing or something with like tail sticking out? And then yeah, not up close, but like when you're like far away.
Right. Yeah, like a little dead varmint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to. Well, I've been jogging this year, and I've been so happy that I've been able to do it. Like, my lungs are definitely back.
Nice.
Sometimes it's just, other parts of me ache a little bit, but it's nothing that's stopping me, right? It's just a minor inconvenience. But I was talking to Holly, and I forgot exactly how you came up, but Holly was saying how, yeah, you've been jogging too, and I was like, oh, really?
Not actually. I think maybe what we're talking about is like Amanda and I did the Frosty Mountain out in Manning maybe like a month ago.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
No, I don't know anything about this.
So it's like a trail run out in Manning Park, and you can do options of a 13, 27, and like a 50K, which is insane. Because it's not obviously like paved road like downtown, right? It's on the middle of the city. You're on the mountain.
Is it like this?
Parts of it, yeah. It can be.
Actually, that actually sounds easier, because like running in the city, running on pavement is so hard on your joints.
They have their own unique challenges for sure. Like I feel like the paved aspect is very structured, and the likelihood that you'll like roll your ankle is little, but you're dealing with like a massive people. It's like being in the city in general, right? Whereas running a trail such as this, in like trail runners such as those, is you're more concerned about finding your footing, not injuring yourself. You don't want to like have your ankle like twist like the wrong way or whatever. Stuff like that. But in a race environment.
I like these mushrooms here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds intense. Oh, cool.
Going through the bark.
Oh, orange mushrooms.
What movie is that, homie?
Huh?
What movie?
The Creator.
The Creator.
Yeah, I just saw it in theaters. It didn't have a lot of marketing. I only saw the trailer because I saw a movie a while back. But it was visually pretty amazing. And conceptually, I felt that it had a nice kind of different perspective on AI.
Oh.
And, it was filmed in Thailand, almost exclusively. And this is going to be a view, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the view we're coming to. You're talking about visually amazing. Here we go.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because I hadn't seen, like a good kind of indie sci-fi. It wasn't indie, but sci-fi flick in a while.
That's nice.
It wasn't, Marvel or whatever. It had the actor from Tenet, so obviously the emotion.
The lead?
Performance felt.
Are we talking about the lead from Tenet?
Yeah.
I forgot if we talked about Tenet.
We have talked about Tenet?
Have we? Oh, look how beautiful this is. It's clouded over.
We've probably said as much as someone can say about that movie.
It was a visual and an auditory hallucination.
Wow.
Yeah, Dougie.
That's like it's like the Corey Rocker Lions Day.
Yeah, let's get in the shot.
We start like
Yes.
like 2 hours.
Homie.
Come here.
Schmink.